Recently, I was contacted by the people at Indestructible Shoes. So they've sent me a pair of their shoes, which I am going to try and destroy. They've set me this challenge, the Indestructible Shoes Challenge. And so, in this video, I'm going to take this pair of shoes. I've been wearing them in the workshop for a week, so I've had a bit of time to get to know them, and I'm going to do an honest review of these shoes at the end of the video. So stick around if you want to see that, and I'll show what I like about the shoes and what I think compared with the ones that I've been wearing for the past sort of 3 years. And as I have this pair of shoes, I have two shoes. One I'm going to put through sort of an impact kind of a test with hammers and sledgehammers, and we'll probably drop an anvil on it at some point and see how the steel toe cap fares up. I mean, dropping an anvil on it is a bit of a exaggerated test, but let's see how that goes. And then the other shoe we're going to take and put through a fire test, trial by fire, and see if we can melt it and hopefully set fire to it. We'll see how well it fares against fire. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. I'm going to have a lot of fun trying to destroy these shoes. I hope you have a lot of fun watching me try to do it. Give it a twist. That's a full rotation. Springy. Yeah, past that. 2.5 pound one. Let's give it a bit more of a whack. I've got to put my foot in it and then give it a whack and see if I can feel anything. It's on my foot now. Let's give it a whack. Well, I mean, you can feel the vibrations a bit, but my foot's fine, my toes aren't broken. I'll try a bit of a heavy hammer. Right, 4 pound cross peen. See what this does. Well, I mean, the vibrations were a bit more. The top's beginning to bruise up a bit, but actually it's all right. Got a slot punch. Let's see if this is gonna go through or just bounce out. Oh, it's going in. Can't see if that's actually gone through. I don't think it has. It's very bouncy. I think it is going in there. Let's have a look from the other side. Can't feel anything or see anything. Ah, we're through now. I felt it go through then. Ready? So that's where we've gone through, and it sort of closed itself back up there. You can't even see through. So even if it does get a puncture in, I mean, it's still just closed itself back up. This is pretty good. It took some welly to get through, actually. 14 pound sledgehammer. I'm going to try, hit the steel toe cap, see if we can collapse it. Wow. Oh, let's have a look at that. I have managed to get my foot in it. You can see, you see that little bit there on the shoe? I don't know if you can, but that's the edge of the steel toe cap. So we've pushed it down on there and it's gone out, but my toes are perfectly fine in it at the moment. I don't know if they would have been if I would have actually swung the sledgehammer at it, but it's still a shoe. I can still get my foot in it. It's not destroyed yet. So I've got a bigger sledgehammer. It's a 28 pounder, so that's double the weight of this one. Let's see what that will do. 28 pounds. Nearly as big as the shoe. This is, I hardly ever use this sledgehammer, if ever. I don't think I ever have. So let's use it. Oh, well, I think your shoes wouldn't be dead. Let's have another one. Well, not so good. This is quite a big hammer, and as you can see, that steel toe cap has completely collapsed. Like, it's literally touching the bottom of the sole. So, I mean, I think your toes would be a pancake on this one, but I think that test is a bit over the top. You know, I think a miss-hit with one of those is not your average workshop day. But it's a nice test and it was fun to do. I mean, the only problem is I do actually use these breeze blocks as I mount my sledge block on them. It's not the safest thing, but I mean, oh well, I'll have to make a stand now. I was hoping to drop an anvil on it, but that steel toe cap's already crushed. So, on the one that we're going to put through a fire test, I'll drop an anvil on that one because the steel toe cap will be intact and the rest of the shoe will be melted or something. But I think, you know, this is still pretty intact other than the steel toe cap, so I'm going to flip it over, try and chop it in half with a chisel. We'll see how easy this is going to be. I'm going to have to watch my anvil, make sure I don't go all the way through and nick that, but I have no idea. Let's have a go. Oh, that's done nothing. Jesus. Come on. Work my way along. Whoa. Going through now. Stanley knife. See if we can bring this cut along. Oh, getting there now. There we go, that'll do. In half. It's strong. Defeated. As you can see, we managed to cut this shoe in half and just completely destroy it. But it's quite, you know, reassuring that even when I hit that with the 14-pound sledge, afterwards I could still get my foot in it. So, you know, it's good to know that my toes wouldn't be a complete pancake at 14 pound, but at 20 pound, I mean, 28 pounds, sorry, my toes would not be having a very good time. So, we've now got this shoe, which I'm going to try and set fire to, hopefully. I've worn it in the workshop for a week, and as you can see there, there's just a little patch where it's melted, where like some scale got on it or something. I can't remember exactly what happened, but hopefully we can either set fire to it or melt it a bit. Try to set fire to the bottom first. Probably just gonna melt. Not really doing very much. Doing basically nothing. I mean, it's probably not very likely that a lit flame, naked flame would be touching the bottom of the shoes unless you perhaps had a bit of coal fly out the forge. I mean, that's done basically nothing. Let's try one on the top. Oh, that's melting it actually a little bit. It's not on fire, unfortunately. Ah, we melted through though. Sticky.
I've got this 2-inch solid. I'm going to use the angle grinder to cut through this, sending sparks at the shoe. So this is sort of showing if you've got your shoe underneath the line of the sparks, will your shoe set on fire? I've set fire to myself before sending sparks onto my t-shirt, so let's see if the shoe can hold up to the sparks. Safety first. It's going to set on fire, but that's about as far as I can go through cutting that. It's warm, a bit crispy.
It held up pretty well. I've cut about halfway through that bar, 2-inch round bar, trying to get all the sparks onto it. The actual material of the shoe here is just normal. basically has done nothing to that. The laces, however, have melted a little bit, the outside, they've gone a bit crispy. But other than that, it held up really well against the angle grinder, which I'm very surprised at. So that's a tick star completed test.
So something that happens quite often in the workshop is a coal might fall out the fire, goes on the floor, and then you step on it. So let's see how the shoe is going to hold up to this. Got a coal. I've got a respirator on because I think some bad fumes are going to come up. That's actually not too bad. I mean, it's melted it a bit, but it hasn't melted through.
Shoe on my foot, coal on the floor. Let's actually see if I can feel the heat. Can't feel anything, surprisingly. I think by that point I would have seen the smoke and smelt it. I'm very happy with how it's done that. It actually held up pretty nicely against that. I thought it was going to burn all the way through, but they're sort of, the burns, the melting bits are just on the surface really. This, I don't even know what that was. That was, at some point during the past week, I've stepped on something hot that was square and it melted in. So that wasn't because of the coals, that was something that I did previously, but the actual hot coals are fine really. The shoe still usable. Let's see how it's going to fare up on the top to a bit of hot steel falling on it.
Red hot. I'm going to tap it on as if it's falling off the anvil onto my shoe. So it's melting it, but it's not going through. Can't even really feel the heat through that, that's surprising. Yeah, I'm going to heat it back up and then see if we can cut through. Well, that worked. There we go. Make sure to wear a respirator. Obviously, do not try this at home.
We rather just melted straight through that, but I was trying to, obviously. I think that was a bit of, again, an exaggerated test. And you can see here on the bits where I was just tapping it on, which is much more likely to happen, you know, if a bit of hot steel falls off and lands on this, it's then only just melting the top, it's not actually going through, and I have my hand inside it then as well. But cutting through there, it cut through this material very well, but not that, which is, it's very good that the sole is much more heat proof and isn't melting quite as easily as the top, as that's the bit which, you know, you're going to be standing on things not knowing that you're standing on a hot bit of metal, and so it's reassuring that it's not going to burn straight through into your foot. I think now that's a good sort of assessment of the fire damage that we can do to this shoe. I'm going to drop this anvil on it and absolutely just smash the hell out of the lovely steel toe cap there, as the other one we rather destroyed with the 28 pounder, so I couldn't drop an anvil on it. So we'll drop an anvil on this one. I'm going to drop this anvil on it. Let's see how the steel toe cap fares. I think your toes would be a bit of a pancake. Not too bad. Honest review of Indestructible Shoes. Here's the shoe. As you can see, it just looks like a trainer, and yet there's a steel toe cap hiding in there. It's really, you know, they look very stylish and just like a trainer, and wearing them around the workshop, I've worn them for about a week now, and they do just feel like trainers. It's quite odd, you know, you're walking around and you feel as if you're wearing the wrong shoes, as these are the shoes that I've been wearing for the past sort of 3 years. And these are very big and clunky, and these are really light, and so the difference in them was a bit sort of disconcerting. It felt as if I didn't have the right shoes on, and yet this still has that steel toe cap in there. It's still going to protect your feet. It's also, I mean, it's really flexible, you know, but if your foot's doing that, you're not having such a good day, are you? The shoe will be fine. They're very, very comfortable, as I was saying, lightweight, and all these holes bring air in, so your feet stay nice and cool, whereas with this, leather is not a breathable material, so your feet get really hot in these. The only thing about the leather is that it is much more heat resistant. So I haven't done the fire test on this yet, but I imagine that we managed to melt through it pretty easily, whereas with the leather, this is much more durable against heat. So you've got to watch that yourself, you know, whether you want to choose comfort over protection. But I mean, these are still going to hold up pretty nicely, and I mean, I've worn them throughout the workshop for the week and they were fine, really. You know, there's a couple of spots on the bottom where I melted through, but that's from just standing on something. I was surprised actually that more scale didn't fall down here, because it's not a high boot, and that's one of the worst things, is when you get scale falling down into your boot off the anvil. And yet with these I didn't have any scale going in, which I was very surprised at, and I think that's because they're so tight around your foot at the top. But anyway, I really like them. I'm going to be wearing them around the workshop, hopefully a bit more, and I hope that you will have a look yourself on the Indestructible Shoes website and maybe find yourself your own pair. Thank you for watching the video. I had a lot of fun trying to destroy these shoes. Indestructible Shoes, we really put that name to the test. As you can see, they're now in 3 pieces. Hopefully next week I've got another plan for these shoes, as I was thinking about how I can link this into blacksmithing. And these shoes are steel toe cap shoes, so I'm going to try and extract the steel and then try and make something from them. I'm not quite sure what. I'm going to have a think over this week. I don't know, maybe a flower or something. We'll have a think and see what I can come up with. If you want your very own pair of Indestructible shoes, use code OSC10 at checkout, or the link in the description below, and you'll get 10% off. And also, I'll get a little bit of a kickback, so it's a great way to support the channel if that's something that you want to do. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. I had a lot of fun making this. I really enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon.